All right, so we're recording there. And we're recording here. So 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
All right.
There's a clap sync.
There's a clap sync.
I like that. It's good. It's not growing boobs, man.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's going this bulking program now, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's like gonna go through female puberty.
Gonna have to get you a bro.
Maybe.
Yeah.
At the age of 32 years old, this is now. This this must be like what a 14-year-old girl feels like when she gets her boobs.
Oh, the training
It's
bra.
like, yeah, you're just like, nothing.
So welcome to the Boobs podcast.
Yeah.
This is Jinks podcast episode 4 for Wednesday, March 4th, or whatever. When the first Wednesday in March. Let's figure it out.
Second.
There.
March 2nd.
Second.
March 2nd.
All right, March 2nd.
There we go.
All right, so today it's just me and Matt. Dylan couldn't be here because, he's busy trying to conquer the Matterhorn.
Like the mountain?
No, just the ride at Disneyland. He's got terrible fear of the ride, so he's there. He's trying to conquer it. He'll be with us soon, hopefully. Founding member, still hasn't been a part of the show, so let's get him on board fairly soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get him out here for once.
So,
Nice.
You had a pretty interesting weekend this weekend.
I did. I flew into Victoria. It was a short weekend, mind you, because while having school and work and everything, can't really take that much time off. But yeah, flew into Victoria for the weekend. Came back last night at about 1 a.m, and here I am at school at 8 a.m. So that's a very long
weekend. Not necessarily a long weekend, but a long weekend.
Yeah, just totally bagged. It's really funny too because like it's 2015 now, right? And I mean, I remember trips as a kid were very, very different. You spend all the time looking out the window. It's kind of like that opening scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're all like,
oh yeah,
thinking that you're all excited, right?
Yeah.
Well, here we are. It's about 12:30 at night. Me and my girlfriend were landing in the plane, and it blew my mind because like it's nighttime, and Winnipeg is as cold and terrible as it is. It's beautiful when it's all lit up. You see all the lights from the plane, the skyline coming in. It was awesome. So we're landing. We're coming down. And we flew WestJet, right? So they have TVs in the back of the seats, right? I mean, you got to watch your hockey while you're flying. So we're coming down, and I'm just like hovering out the window, watching all these lights, and she's looking over my shoulder while she's watching curling. like
watching the Briar.
Yeah, how often are you up? How often do you get that kind of view?
Yeah.
I mean, and then she's like watching TSN curling. It was like blew my mind. But no, it was a great trip. It was an awesome trip. Got a lot done there. Fed some seals. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to the museum and the Parliament building, so that was kind of...
Did you do the tour, or just kind of do the tourist thing, stand outside, take a couple pictures?
Well, we did that, and then we got looked at kind of funny, so then we did the tour just to look kind of less lame. Big Fuji cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No tie camera.
No tie camera, no that kind of stuff. But it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Next one should be longer, though.
Yeah, the weekend, just 2 days, isn't really long enough for like a relaxing trip, so...
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So, well, how was it back in Winnipeg here? How was your weather?
It wasn't actually too bad. We had a nice weekend. I got a sweat going out wearing my winter jacket, so it's kind of almost spring. We're just hovering right around there.
Was it like minus 20?
Minus 20 in the morning, but it warmed up. Yesterday I didn't even have my jacket zipped up. Didn't even need a toque. It was nice, but then this morning we're back to shivering, waiting for the bus. So can't wait till that's finished.
I think we had about plus 14. Plus 15 was the highest. It was awesome, man. I was out there in a jacket. Of course, the girlfriend, she's just like, it's cold. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's amazing out here. I had the jacket off. I was walking around with just my t-shirt on. It was a blast, man. It was great. Even down by the pier, everything. Oh, that's where I want to retire. I decided. That's the thing.
That's the dream?
That's the dream. I want to retire in Victoria. But I got to tell you, man, this blew my mind because when they say friendly Manitoba, you don't really think it, right? You think, oh, whatever, just a town full of assholes. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It is friendly. I got bumped. And here's the thing. If you're walking down the street, somebody bumps you, you say sorry, even though it's not necessarily your fault.
Always.
So I got bumped into like 4 or 5 times. Every time I'm like, oh, hey, sorry. They look at me, snub me off and go. I'm like, am I in America? Is this Chicago or Detroit? This is Canada still, right? Like, what's going on here? One guy turns around and says, oh, no, it's okay. But everybody else just kind of like blows you off.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never been
outside of Manitoba?
What is it, west? North? Yeah, west.
That's west.
I've never been west.
Very west.
I've gone, Alberta's as far west as I've gone, like back in the Air Cadet camp. But,
oh, yeah.
But, that was like 2 weeks.
The fighter pilot?
No, I was just for shits and giggles, more or less. The camp was fun, but didn't really get to enjoy anything because I was just on the airbase and that was it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, no, man, it blew me away. Like, I couldn't believe how non-friendly people were there. Not to say they were rude or mean, but like, here in Manitoba, you hold the door open for somebody, they say thank you. Or you bump into somebody, you say sorry, or they will say sorry simultaneously. It's different out there, very different out there.
Toronto's like that too, so maybe it's just like the big
like
city mentality, like, oh, we're too good for this, we're Americanized kind of thing. Like, we're Canadians, be friendly, goddammit. Like,
yeah, as you're saying. Yeah. I was in Toronto a couple of years ago, and I got in shit because they have escalators like we do here, and I had my baggage, and I was going up or down the escalator, or whatever it was, and I was standing there, and people were like, bro, what the fuck? And they're pushing me. I'm like, what's going on? My friend is like, you have to walk. Like, it's an escalator. It moves for you. And she's like, no, it's like, you need to walk. And I found out an escalator, like, they're the same width as they are here.
Yeah.
They're technically 2 lanes. One is a fast lane for walking and passing, and the other lane is if you want to stand, you got to cram to the corner. Otherwise, you're supposed to continue on walking on the left or right-hand side. I can't remember which. There's a protocol.
Since when?
Winnipeg is apparently the only place that you can just be lazy and stand there and get carted to wherever you got to go. But in Toronto, people were giving me dirty looks. I didn't know that there was a protocol to using an escalator. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's news to me.
Yeah.
If you want to walk, you take the stairs. The escalator is for us lazy fucks that just want to stand and be taken to where we're going.
Apparently not. We get shit on for that kind of stuff.
Stupid.
Yeah. But we're the only place that's totally okay to do. Apparently. If the rest of Canada, there's like other protocols to follow.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anything else happen to you while you're out there? Or?
I got moderately intoxicated the first night out.
Yes.
Keeping in mind with the jet lag, right? So we get out there, and like the girlfriend and I, we got to the hotel room like quite a bit longer before the other couple did, right? So we're hanging out there, whatever, and then we decide we just crash. And they show up at 9:30. I'm forgetting now that 9:30 is 11:30, my time, local, like my time, right?
Yeah.
So they show up. We're like, oh fuck, okay, well, let's go for a couple of drinks and Mappies. It's only 9:30. Like, why are we so tired? So we ended up shutting the bar down. Like the other dude and I, our women went back to the hotel.
Of course, yeah.
So we came back at about 3 in the morning, local time, so like 5 in the morning our time. And the next day we weren't feeling that great.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's got to be a rough
It was a bit
day.
of a rough morning. But I mean, I'd been up for 23 hours, and you're putting away who knows how much booze, right? So
yeah, you lose track after, 7 or 8?
Yeah.
They just kind of blur into one?
Yeah, it was like, I get back, that was the best part, too. I come back, I'm like, hey, I had like 3 more drinks. I was oh, I swear to God, I had 3 more drinks. Pretty sure I was double fisting when they left. We had a couple more rounds after that of double fisting. So, yeah, no, that was the first night out. Yeah, second night out or second day out, we did the whole Parliament building thing, the museum, kind of walked around town for a little bit. And the third day, that's when we got to feed the seals and stuff, which was a riot all on its own.
Yeah, did you get to see any killer whales are out there? Or?
No, they're in season apparently at certain times. So April apparently is when
I guess the migration seasons.
Yeah, or whatever. Apparently they a couple of whales banged and have a couple of babies now, so that's a thing you can go and see. But again, that's way off the coast. If you want to, you got to spend kind of big bucks to go on those excursions.
Oh yeah, I guess it's an offshore kind of. You got to get the boat, hire the boat kind of.
Yeah, because anything that's kind of near and close, that's like a whole. Like you said, migratory or whatever the fuck they want to call it thing. Like it's they're in season in April. They told us this is you can go out, but I wouldn't advise it if you're not from here that you don't, because there's literally a 50-50 chance at best that you're even going to see anything.
Yeah. So
we didn't bother going. Just the seals is kind of the only thing we did.
Yeah, I guess for something like that, probably you'd want to do like an Alaskan cruise, get to see like the humpbacks, the killer whales,
the
manatees, the porpoises, the porpoise. I don't know, whatever the plural of porpoises is.
No. What the hell's a porpoise?
I don't know. What is a fucking porpoise?
They're like a barnacle?
Yeah, they're like a fat dolphin or something, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought it was like a sea urchin.
No. Porpoise is
definitely
platypus. Some kind of.
That's
no,
a platypus.
Platypus is like the beaver duck thing, the duck beaver.
Yeah. Is that really?
Yeah. The porpoise.
Science.
It's like
I need to go back to school.
It's like an otter duck. They've got like the duck bill. They've got like the flippers, the poison things on their toes.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
That's a platypus. I'm pretty sure a porpoise is just a fat dolphin.
Oh, that could be maybe. I really have no idea. But all we saw was seals. Sea lions would have been awesome to see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever gone on YouTube and actually watched. They don't make sounds the way that you would expect.
What, like the ar.
You would assume because that's cute and fun, and you would.
That's what cartoons have led me to believe they sound like.
That's not at all what they sound like. That's not at all. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and watch a sea lion. They scream like dying men.
Like, have you ever heard a goat scream? Is it like that? Or?
It's more like terrifying. Like goat scream.
More terrifying than a goat scream?
Yeah, a goat scream is like a banshee, whatever. It's like this ghost, weird, like dying, whatever. But a fucking sea lion, man, that's crazier. Like, there's a video I watched. It's like people in a zoo, and this thing kind of swims up, gets up and looks. and just goes like, "Oh!" and starts yelling like an insane person. But that's the noises they really actually make. There's no cute barking or any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Things you don't know growing up in the prairies.
Yeah, so cartoons lie to you. Take that. That's your lesson for today.
It's a true story.
Now, on Friday, I have to bring this up. It's big news.
Okay.
We did lose Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, yes.
Yes. It's very, very tragic, very sad.
I catch that.
Got my Star Trek shirt on. I don't know if anybody can see it, in memoriam of him today.
Yeah.
I was going to wear the black armband. Didn't want to go that far. Didn't want to seem like that big of a nerd, but I am that big of a nerd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're really a big fan of his or any of his
Oh, yeah,
work,
of course.
but,
Yeah. Well, he even had cameos in the later movies, too.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
Really good. I loved him on Fringe. He was really good on Fringe. I don't know if you ever watched that.
No. Okay.
But obviously Star Trek was the big thing. Simpsons, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on there. It's true, yeah. Shit, that's right. How old is he?
He was 83.
83. Well, he had a pretty decent run then.
Yeah. But Shatner's 83 too, but he looks like he's still in his 60s. I don't know. He must be drinking like virgin blood or something to stay young. Like he's keeping it. I don't know what his secret is, but
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's awful, man.
yeah.
That's right. No, the closest thing to anything Star Wars related was going down to the wharf. Which
Star
is
Trek.
Star Trek. Oh my
Come
God.
on.
I'm going to get in trouble.
You are going to get in trouble on that one.
Right, hate mail to jaredmarshall@gmail.com.
Go to him. Go to him. That was it. So.
No, that's right. What else is going on in the news?
Well, other than the serious news, that's really all I want to talk about for news.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, well, today is Monday, March 2nd, so any hockey fans, today is the trade deadline. So you were in Victoria over the weekend, so you probably didn't hear about all the
nothing.
You didn't hear about the moves?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Well, us being in Winnipeg, of course, some things did happen. Cheveldayoff actually made some moves for the Jets.
I heard that there was something that happened, but I didn't catch exactly what it was. When we were out there on the Sunday, that was the other big thing we did. So we're in Victoria doing our thing, but of course we wound up at a pub anyway watching the Jets game.
Yeah, of course.
And we pumped LA, which was huge.
Yeah, it was a great game.
That was a great game. That's a lot of momentum that we kind of needed to maintain our playoff position.
Yeah,
Did you see Bufflin's fight?
Yeah. Oh, Bufflin
That's the
was
first time he really threw down. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And Scheifele, that good hit. Like
Well-
he got taken into the boards.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's what
that,
started it.
yeah, and then he went back and took a run at the guy. Nice clean hit.
Oh, huge open ice hit.
But that's progress for Scheifele now because
Totally.
he's growing out of like his kid gloves.
Yeah.
And now he's growing up. He's throwing his body around. He's not afraid anymore. Like he's coming into his own and it's showing on the score sheet and everything. They're meshing really well together now, and it's really good.
Oh, big time. I don't know if you saw that replay, but what happens is when Scheif lays out, I don't remember who it was.
I can't remember either.
He skates up. Buff actually takes a go at him first, sees Scheif's there, so he pulls out,
Yeah.
pulls away.
Yeah.
Scheifele lays him out. Guy goes to fight Scheifele, then Buff circles
Bufflin
around.
just hops
and-
right on him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Bufflin's going in
gorgeous.
for the hit, sees Scheifele coming, like, no, I'm going to let him take that. And the Scheifele, boom, just lowers the hammer. It's
Yeah.
great.
That was awesome. That was
Good
a
hit.
hell of a good game.
Yeah.
But now that kind of leaves LA in a funny spot because they're competing directly with Calgary, are they not?
Yeah, on the
they're
west,
fighting-
yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah.
But they're at equal points now. That would have been a big win for LA to stay in, and now they're kind of out. So
Yeah.
we kind of shut them down pretty hard.
The Jets are sitting at like a 77% chance to make the playoffs now, which is great.
It is great. It is great. But there's still. We can lose that pretty easily.
Yeah. Well, the
77
thing is, like,
sounds good on paper, but that we lose 2 more games and we're kind of out.
like we've been playing really well. Like the team's playing really good, but the wins just aren't coming together. Like yesterday was great, but
Well,
too many overtime games, too many 1-point games, and it's
but at least
Batting
they're
up.
1-point games
Yeah.
as opposed to 0-point games.
That's
right?
true,
We
yeah.
had that 5-game stretch of losing.
yeah,
Which was
right
awful.
after the All-Star break.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we went in
horrible.
on a 7 or 8 game win streak and came out and lost like 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Which is, as a fan, just very disappointing.
Oh, very disappointing. But yeah, as long as we can kind of keep it up. At least now we're competing essentially with ourselves. As long as we keep winning, we're not relying like past years on other teams losing and us winning. Right now, it's just like, if we maintain it, we're good. So
Yeah.
other teams can whatever, as long as we maintain our wins, we're going to be in good shape. So that's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, today's the deadline. So that's unfortunately we're in school.
we're sitting in here recording this podcast instead of at home on the couch watching Trade Center on TSN, which is where I'd much rather be. That's kind of my yearly tradition. I never miss Trade Center, so
Yeah.
But I'm getting the updates. Nothing seems to be happening yet, but all the trades were made before today. I don't know if there's anybody left.
Well, I saw a stat yesterday on the plane, like on TSN, they're saying like the trades done on the deadline day, how many were done? And I think it was like 2002 was 0, and they slowly went up. And last year there was 10 trades that were made on the deadline day.
Yeah.
You know, so I have no idea what today's is going to be, or this year's is going to be, but I
probably not very many. I haven't seen very many yet come up, but yeah, I did find the one player we got Stempniak from the Rangers.
That's right. Oh yeah, for Klinsberg or something.
For Klinsberg, yeah. Which is, I think, a great trade. I don't know if it's just going to be a rental, if it's just going to be around to the end of the year, but
it's tough to say.
They were Sheldayoff was trying to get him last summer, so maybe he might be interested in sticking around. So,
well, yeah, there you go.
That'd be good.
If you want him. I honestly don't know anything about him. I don't know his stats. I heard he's comparable to a Furleak, which if that's the case, that's awesome.
Yeah, like right now he's sitting at 9 goals, 9 assists for the year.
Okay.
So I think he's more of a defensive-minded, which fits perfectly in with he fits right in with Paul Maurice's kind of overview or like what he wants to do with the team.
Grounded. Not like a Kane who just keeps taking pot shots and getting nothing.
Yeah. Well, let's not get on the Kane topic because we could go for hours on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was really it for hockey. I had one hell of a fucking weekend. I'll put it that way. Now, this is something that might be a shock to you because I haven't told you this. I suffer from depression.
Okay.
I do. So when shit like what happened this weekend happens, it sets me off. I do have anger issues too. But, depression and anger issues, mix them together, not very good.
No, how does that work?
Well, with depression, you feel like you have this void inside you, right? Like this black hole that just eats everything.
Right.
And then rage is
comparable to marriage, I would say.
And then rage is like a supernova, that black hole just exploding. So I work in a meat shop. It would have been lovely if we had some beef hanging up in the cooler and I could just go back and pull a Rocky. Yeah. Because I was in a mood to just put my fist through something. I'm not going to go into the details because for privacy's sake, I don't want to shit on anybody's reputation or anything, even though some people deserve it. But hell, I'm glad you had a good weekend though, so that's good.
Yeah. Well,
at least one of us did. So
that's like yin and yang right there. That's gonna make me feel bad for having an awesome weekend. You need a drink, buddy. That's what you need.
Yeah,
why not? Hey, with depression and anger issues, why not have a beer?
Why not? Well, you got the great weekend. I had the shitty weekend. It balances out right down the middle. So
yeah, we'll see what this weekend brings. Because now I'm behind on work and school, by the way. And speaking about school, do we have any other tests coming up? We just kind of crushed like a whole week's worth. Which is interesting, because I wanted to touch on that a little bit. Like, do you remember high school and junior high?
I do, yeah.
Right? And there's, did you ever cheat in high school? On tests?
On girlfriends, but not tests.
I didn't even, I didn't even know.
I was young and stupid. I had my young and stupid phase.
I didn't even date anybody. Back then I was cheating on tests. That's really all I had going for me, because I was just trying to get through school. But, the whole evolution of tests and writing them and preparations and stuff, they really differentiate from when you're younger to when you're older.
Oh, yeah.
Like back then, it was the whole cheat notes and stuff, right? You're trying to whatever, or you're trying to, copy your buddy's paper, or, like calling across class and teachers in the room to see what's up. That changes, man. Like I remember the first time I was in college, I took a computer course, which I didn't complete, obviously, because that's why I'm here now.
That's why you're here now.
12 years later, still in college. Why not, right? Canadian way. No, we developed this idea that we got from a Snapple commercial that we were going to go into this gymnasium to write our exams, and you're kind of like there's one row is like one class, the next row.
Oh yeah. So like the Harry Potter model.
Essentially, yes. So you can't copy off anybody beside you. But we went in with beer caps. So trying to click them, or was it beer caps? No, that was a Snapple commercial. They're using the caps. Yeah. So we use our pencils. So for instance, give me your pen. If I wanted to get, because everything was multiple choice, right? So I'd be like, okay, well, I want question number 22, and I want you to tell me what it is. So I would for question 22, I'd go tap, 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 tap. That's 22.
22, yeah.
And then the other person would if it was C, they'd go 1, 2, 3, and then I'd give a little confirm tap like for yes or a no, and then they would confirm it. Boom, there's the answer. So this method would take forever to get through a test.
Obviously,
but it would work. So if you're stuck on a copy, you got 7 or 8, you don't really know. Boom, you got the whole class that can answer it for you. And nobody would there was a lot of tapping going on. But nobody was the wiser. And
it'd be one of those things. If you're a teacher there, why is everybody tapping their pens? That's weird. Nervous ticks, I guess.
Not illegal to tap your pen. Yeah. Nobody knew.
Everybody got 97%.
Let's fast forward 5 more years. I went back to college because that didn't work out. The tapping did. The rest of the college totally did.
Yes.
So now I'm in electrical, right? And still currently an electrician now. But we had exams again, but these ones were not multiple choice. These were a lot harder.
The essay questions.
Yeah. Yes, right. So we had to cite these code rules and blah, 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 all this kind of crap. So essentially you did a study guide, and how do you sneak a study guide in? Well, our teacher would allow us, you guys can wear iPods, like have headphones in or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is fucking brilliant. So I knew what was going to be on the test because they tell you.
Yeah, they give you a test review, basically.
So what I did is I downloaded just like a rap beat, and I recorded myself over in my own voice. Not rapping, because, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I was...
I thought you could.
That's another
subject.
subject.
Yeah. We'll get back to that on a different podcast.
So I had the beat open, and I recorded myself just talking through my notes. I sectionized it, paragraphed it, spoke over it, recorded to the beat, put the headphones on my brother, and cranked the music, walked past him a few times so I could hear the beat, but not anything else, renamed the track to some random Tupac song, boom, put it on shuffle. So when the teacher came by, I was like listening to my music, kept rewinding it, going back, rewinding it, going back. And if he ever went to look and see what I was doing, none the wiser. I literally walked through electrical college doing that. Making tracks.
And now you're doing it for a living, so it must have worked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 10 years, exactly, yeah. I got really good marks.
Yeah, see me, I'm not that clever. If I tried to cheat, I'd definitely get
If I put that kind of effort into studying, I wouldn't even need to cheat. That's the irony right there.
Of course.
Because the intuition, just the sheer creativity alone, which is probably why I'm taking this course, really. I could have aced school if I would have put that much effort into studying rather than cheating.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
See, me, I'd be so stupid, I'd just take, a couple, Cliff Note cards, cue cards, tuck them in the back of my cell phone case, pop my cell phone open. I'd definitely get caught. I'm not clever enough for something like that. But.
Well, that's the other funny thing, because that's what I do now. So I hope Robin isn't going to watch this episode, but I do. But I use it ethically, because what I do is I'll take cue cards and I will condense my notes, right? Because we know what we're going to be writing. Essentially, when we come to these tests, we're told.
Yeah, for the most part,
to memorize them and kind of study. So I will take my notes, I'll condense them, right on the cheat cards, right? Now I have a cheat card, essentially one, because I've condensed it down. I'll bring it with me, go into the class, throw it in the garbage. I don't need it. Because making that card essentially was studying.
Yeah.
Now everything sticks, and I haven't had to legitimately cheat at all in this course, because
that's how I used to study. I'd just take my notes that I took from class and then rewrite everything.
Yeah.
Because just the act of writing it sticks it in your brain. And I have a shitty short-term memory, so for that really helped me. That and playing music in the background while you're studying is why you're in the test. You remember the song and what you were reading when you're listening to that song, and it clicks for the answers. That works for me. So kids listening, if you don't want to cheat, here's some little life hacks for studying. Might help you out a bit. So
exactly. But if you do want to cheat, I suggest starting with the pen method, because that where it may or may not work, it's hilarious to watch. So.
Yeah, because I guess they probably don't let kids bring their phones or iPods into tests anymore. I would hope.
No, I think more kids have phones and iPods now. I didn't have a cell phone until years after graduation.
Yeah. Well, now you wouldn't even have to do the iPod thing that you did. If you could bring your phone and you just bring up Google and be like, oh, they're okay.
I was watching news the other day. They have the I Love to Read month, which just passed, right? And they had Brian Bowman or whoever reading to the kids.
Yeah. And
there's a 5-year-old kid with his phone just taking a video. I'm like, what the hell does a 5-year-old kid have an iPhone for? That's insane.
Yeah, I think kids should not have a cell phone until they can pay for it themselves.
I agree with that. Probably because I'm old.
Yeah.
And I'm bitter now.
Yeah,
and I'm 32.
Yeah, because we didn't have cell phones when we were kids, so fuck the kids now. Why do they get them?
Exactly.
That's not fair.
That's really showing my age right there.
Yeah.
That mentality. But I fully back that.
Yeah, my first cell phone was probably that big. Just tiny little
Really?
Sony
My first
Ericsson.
cell phone was like a brick. It was massive.
Oh, yeah, you got a couple years on me, though.
Yeah.
But my first cell phone I bought, I think, when I was 17, though, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. I already kind of got into whatever.
Yeah, I didn't really... Oh, losing the filter. Okay. I didn't really have a need for a cell phone until, I started working. So that's when I finally ended up getting it. Well, my dad sure as hell wasn't going to pay for it for me, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, my first cell phone, it was a shitty little thing. It was they called it this something solo.
Hi, Charles. You want to come in for a sec?
We had, just talking about cell phones and the evolutions of.
Oh.
Yeah.
The mechanical devil.
Yes.
Can I sit down and join you guys?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah,
awesome.
Surely. See if we can get you on camera here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go that way.
Because budget.
Yes. Our budget is $0.
Hey, you guys have a higher budget than me. Holy crap.
Sorry.
Mine is in the negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, comic books are expensive.
Go. So here, we finally get to bring back another nerd component to the podcast. This is Charles Sazetsky.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them about the things that you do, and they can check you out on Facebook.
I do 2 different shows at the moment, along with trying to do a blog, which has been more or less successful. The 2 shows are Nerd Culture Radio, which I do on 95.9 CKUW FM every Sunday 4 till 4:30, and hopefully they will finally approve the hour-long time slot that we want, that we've been bugging them about since we started, which is weird because apparently we've been getting nothing but complaints through their line, yet through our line we've been getting nothing but praises and compliments.
Oh, that's how it's going to work, though. People who want to complain, they're going to go to the station. People that want to praise you, they're going to go right to you, right? So.
Yeah, but it's weird, though, because it's like we announce at the end of most of the episodes, hey, if you have an idea on how we can make the show better, let us know. And, we have gotten requests like, hey, can you talk about this? And we have. Friday, unfortunately, Leonard Nimoy passed away.
Yeah, we touched on that briefly a little bit.
And so we did a tribute to him. That's up on CKUW's website, which is just ckuw.ca.
Go, guys, check it out.
Yeah, exactly. We got some audio clips from Wrath of Khan in there.
Nice.
And a whole bunch of good stuff in that one. The other show that I'm doing is here with Herzine, and that's Guardians of the Fandom, which so far as I know, because I have no idea if they've gotten the radio station up and running again for it to broadcast online.
I think right now it's still just running in-house. So.
Yeah, but we have been uploading the episodes to the Nerd Culture Radio SoundCloud, so they are there, which is just go to SoundCloud, type in Nerd Culture Radio, and you should be able to find the account. The blogger that I've been doing is called Inside the Comic Book Guy's Head. Okay. And it's just like random stuff that I have just floating around inside my head.
And that's like the Google blogger one?
Blogger, yeah. Yeah, that's the Google one. And one of the first articles I did was, I only have 2 up on there right now.
Testing the integrity of your camera. I'm playing 2048, just want to brag at my score.
Why don't you talk about my shitty camera?
But yeah, one of the first articles I did on there was looking at the superhero and why there have been very few, especially in today's world with autism constantly getting bigger and bigger, how there's been so few autistic superheroes, and yet at the same time, there are still superheroes that kind of mimic some of the personality traits that autistic people have. The very early Superman, and it wasn't just Superman, but people in Metropolis were very black and white, as in this is either
racially
bad or racially, but either this is really bad or this is really good. And
that's probably a product of the times. So a lot of comic books back then were, okay, this is pure good. Here's your hero. Here's your pure evil. Like here's Captain America punching Hitler.
The only one where
that was a literal reference, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually did.
Yes, that was on a cover of Captain America.
Yeah, on the first cover for Captain America, and a lot of DC guys were kicking themselves like, oh, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, because punching Hitler in the face was that was the thing to do.
Yeah, because DC had Superman first, the symbol of hope, America's champion.
Which is actually funny because he was created by a Canadian.
Yep.
Well, one of his creators was Canadian.
Was it Siegel? Was the Canadian, or?
I'm pretty sure it was Siegel.
Yeah. I
think
so. If we're wrong, somebody will correct us, I'm sure. So.
But yeah, with I will admit,
you're so lost right now, aren't you, Matt? You know nothing about comic books.
About comic books.
Matt's just kind of like, yeah, that's really good, guys.
They have staples in them, right?
So. Yeah, they have words. I know they have words. Yeah. Just a lot of the old stuff is really great, and Marvel has actually had a few autistic superheroes.
Have they now?
Yes, there was. No,
that's schizophrenic.
Well, I would
feel very ashamed if Deadpool was if they were like, yeah, this is our artistic superhero. I'd be like, really? You guys going to put in a little more effort on that?
No, he's schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic, bipolar. crazy. He's just
just crazy.
Just insane. But hilarious. Brian Posehn,
it's no secret
great
that I
writer of
dislike Deadpool. It's absolutely no secret at all.
Really?
It just seems like... I don't know if it's just because I hate Rob Liefeld.
Oh, yeah, the original artist.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because I have so much hate for him, or if it's just because of like how the character is. But I'm okay with comedy in my comic books. But Deadpool takes it like to the most logical extreme.
Oh yeah.
And I tried getting into it. One of my friends, her name's Amber, she tried getting me into Deadpool. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I respect that you like this, but I can't do it.
You should check out the new stuff. Brian Posehn, he's a stand-up comedian. He's been on a lot of shows. I'm sure you'd recognize him if you saw him. He's like 8 feet tall.
Apparently,
he was
Deadpool's going to die, though.
Really?
How?
Yeah.
I thought he's immortal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's had his head cut off before.
Multiple times.
Fine, right?
Yeah. Apparently, he's going to die, though.
Like how? Like, are they throwing in the fires of Mordor? Like,
he's at the peak of his popularity right now. Why would they? Well, that's why they kill him. They kill him so that they can bring him back.
Well, not just that, but because Fox still has the rights, and Marvel's being dicks. Like they're getting rid of. They're not necessarily killing, but they're getting rid of a lot of X-Men titles as well after the new Secret Wars happens.
Right. Yes.
So the only reason Spider-Man's sticking around is because, well, one, biggest cash cow. And two...
Unintentional pun. He's sticking around.
Yeah. And number two is because of the whole agreement with Sony.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Sony's like, let you use Spider-Man in the Civil War, Captain America Civil War. And Marvel's like, okay, we'll teach you how to make good comic book movies.
Yeah. And so essentially what's happening is Marvel's like, we will do all the work. We just want to use him in our movies too. And they're like, oh, okay.
What I think would be cool, because I read the Civil War comics, I'm sure you did as well.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, with Spider-Man's unmasking, I'm sure you remember that. What
that
would be
was very
cool?
big.
I saw this thing on Reddit. I can't take full credit for this, but somebody had this idea. It would be cool if they didn't announce who was actually playing Spider-Man, didn't show him in any of the trailers until in the movie when he unmasks himself.
That would be cool. That would be cool to see.
But I think with the Screen Actors Guild,
because like all we know,
impossible because he'd have to be credited.
Yeah.
So.
All we know is that it's not going to be Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all we know.
Which is unfortunate, man, because he was great.
In Amazing Spider-Man 1. Both
I haven't seen the second one.
Neither have I. But because I've heard nothing but shit about it. It's like the Spider-Man 3 syndrome. They just threw too many villains
3 was an improvement compared to Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It was that bad, eh?
It was that bad. Like, okay,
really? Because Tobey Maguire was emo.
Say what you will. Say what you will about Spider-Man 3, but let me put it to you this way. Everyone's biggest problem is the whole dancing scene, right?
That's the biggest problem.
But to me, that makes the most sense. And the reason I say that is because Venom is an alien symbiote who crash lands on Earth.
Yep.
He has no idea what our culture is about. Peter Parker's a total dork. So really, for the both of them to be like, yeah, this is going to be awesome, it makes total sense, because Venom knows nothing about our culture, and Peter's a total dork. So it makes sense that he'd do like some cheesy dance down the street, just like, yeah, I'm so cool, when really it's like the lamest thing ever.
I still think it could have been handled better.
I do agree that certain
could have been...
I do agree that certain things could have been handled better for sure. But of course, with that being said, the whole dancing, which everyone loves to pick on, it's like, well, really, guys, let's think about this for a moment. Why shouldn't that be in there? It makes sense to me.
I guess, yeah. I'm still, I hated Spider-Man 3. Just I just couldn't.
It was horrible. It was bad. That killed it.
Spider-Man 2 was so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So me and my friends actually went and saw number 3 for my birthday one year when it was in theaters.
Oh, I'm sure I saw it.
And during the scene where the butler looks at Harry and he's just like, I loved your father, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and like me and my friends just start laughing. And everyone just turns to look at us like, you fucking assholes. And it's like, oh, sorry, are we allowed to swear on?
Oh, yeah. You can say whatever the fuck you want on the Hijack podcast.
It's just that with my radio show.
Yeah. No, this isn't going on air. This is all. This is all YouTube. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not regulated by CRTC, so we can.
Yeah, CRTC. There have been some complaints about with Nerd Culture Radio with one of my co-hosts because like he's occasionally dropped a swear and it's like, you can't be doing that. We're not doing stuff on the internet anymore. You can't do this.
Yeah, you got it. Once you get so used to swearing in everyday life, and then you're sitting down on the radio with your friend having a normal conversation. You drop into your normal fucking conversation.
Yeah, and then it's just like, fucking Marvel. Oh shit. And yeah.
Well, to add on that, I know all about that. That's the last 10 years. Your wage is almost based on how many times you can swear. So it's very, very different for me. So
satellite radio especially. You can.
Well, that's what
you can just say whatever the hell you want now.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's
the
great
beauty of privatization, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's where everything seems to be going right now. Well, not everything, but
I hope everything doesn't go there, because as much as I do like satellite radio, with perfect example, CBC. They have an excellent newscast, excellent programming, and it's local programming too. It's local people, and what Harper is doing is they're essentially killing CBC very, very slowly.
Very slowly.
And what'll happen is, if they're able to succeed, is CBC will then have a board of directors, and along with the board of investors, and say, no, we want you to announce this news like this, and then we'll have possibly another version of Fox. The reason why I say another version of Fox is because I believe CTV is trite.
Well, we did have Sun News, which was Canada's version of Fox News.
Yeah.
That's dead now, thank God.
Yeah, no,
Which?
thank God.
Sun News?
Sun News?
You never heard of it?
No. The Winnipeg Sun.
Oh.
Is that
it was
literally an offshoot of Winnipeg Sun?
No, it was national.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was owned by the same company or same person that owns the Sun.
Channel did they?
It was their own channel.
It was,
Really?
they broadcast it on the internet as well. Yeah. And it was essentially, I guess someone sat down and was like, hey, you know that thing, Fox News? Let's make a Canadian version of that. And it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I think the whole downfall of Sun News was when the one guy, Ezra, I think his name was, he called Elliot or Pierre Trudeau, Justin Trudeau, his mom. He called his mom a whore.
Whoa! I did not know about that.
Yeah, because
what brought that up?
Because Justin Trudeau is running for PM, right? He's running for Prime Minister.
Yeah. So did he just slip it in subliminally?
Oh no,
he was his mother's a whore.
Well, he was
on to the next thing.
Talking about how he has no credentials. Sure, his dad was Pierre Elliott Trudeau, but his mom was
a whore.
His mom was basically a whore. Yeah.
He's verbatim.
Not word for word, but
wow,
to that effect. Yeah.
Oh, that's just.
And now the same guys.
Fox News hasn't done something like that to get them hauled off air.
Oh, they've done tons of shit.
But
like that.
But then again, if they were hauled off air, that'd be a huge section out of my comedy viewing. So.
Oh yeah. Because Daily Show would have nothing to talk
about.
Jon Stewart would have nothing to talk about.
John, yeah, you do actually.
All right, welcome to the settling of wages on the Jinks podcast.
Oh, it's for that Coke that I bought off you.
Oh yes, the pound of Coke.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about prices.
You live in Winnipeg, cheap Coke. Cheap Coke.
Very cheap Coke. Okay.
Yes, Winnipeg. Speaking of Winnipeg and its cheapness, Comic-Con. Winnipeg's Comic-Con.
Oh, Fan Expo?
So no, not Fan Expo. C4.
C4. Yeah.
So I'm not going to say too much, but some stuff happened.
When was
between me and them?
Oh,
this was around November.
Yeah, I know that.
And,
right
you guys know what happened because it's traveled around the classroom and that.
Yeah.
But with them, I kind of noticed this, and it's not 100% their fault, the guests they get, because of the fact that Winnipeg is so cheap.
And it's really, even though we're the 7th biggest city in Canada, we're still a fairly small market.
Oh, and
we don't have that big of a population. So,
I think Winnipeg's cheapness is killing the city, because you look at, for example, C4. For years it was a adequate show. It did its job. It very good programming, and now it's started to go downhill. And I know part of the reason is because, and I don't know how much of this I can say without getting myself or anyone that I work with in trouble, but I know part of it is that there has been some ill-advised, speech on their part. Of the whole chapters thing that I was talking to you guys about off camera. And, they've pissed off a lot of people that way by doing stuff like that. which I do actually have printed off evidence for. So if anyone wants to question me on it, I can back this up. But I'm almost wondering if, because as a critic, like I review comic books, I review movies on on Nerd Culture Radio and on more older comic books on Guardians of the Fandom. As a critic, there's an unspoken rule of it's never ever ever the public's fault. It's always the people who are putting on the show or doing that. But I've taken time to think about that, and I've kind of started to think, it is partially our fault because, like I've said on my show, I would rather go to an amazing show that only has one or two really awesome guests than go to a show that's okay and has like a bunch of crappy guests that no one cares about.
Yeah.
But I know that there are people that want it both ways. That we should be able to have Stan Lee and David Tennant and Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman all in the same roof and only have to pay $30 for a weekend pass.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's
not
ignorance,
going
right?
to
And that's where it comes from, like that old mentality: the customer's always right. Well, no, that's breeding ignorance.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
I work in retail. I can state for a fact the customer is 90% of the time they are fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're coming to you with a question. They don't know.
Exactly. When I was working at Superstore, there was this one assistant manager, and I got along with all the management except for him, just because he was. I'm not really sure if he actually was arrogant, but he did come off like it. And this one customer had said that I allegedly gave him the finger. I'm like, there are 5 people there who saw me not give him the finger. Like, go talk to them. They will back me up. And he's like, well, I think we need to have a conversation about this. And I said to him, no, I just told you what happened. And he says, well, Charles, the customer is always right. And I said to him, no, the customer's always full of shit. Good day. And I just walked out of the office. He's just like, well, you need to come back here. I'm going to report you to the union. I'm like, you do that. Nothing happened.
It's a shame that I wasn't. Well, yeah, managers, like, they'll always take the customer's side because, they're the one who spend money at the store. I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm the one working here. I'm the one bringing in the customers. Like, if it weren't for me, there wouldn't be any fucking customers.
Exactly. Like we're the ones who keep the shelves stocked. So
I had the same situation happen. I used to do tech support for Convergence.
it was
a dial-up internet tech support for Americans.
See, I worked high speed.
This was the 90s, wasn't it?
No, it was not. No? It was 2001. 2000 dial-up.
2001 dial-up.
Oh, son, there's so much you need to know.
Oh my goodness, because I remember
cable modem only really cable modem.
Because I remember in the 90s. I remember in the 90s.
It was like
being a kid
99
and being like you need to get off the computer. I have to use the phone. Being told that. But by the time the early 2000s came around, we already had not as good as it is now, but we already had high-speed internet.
The capabilities were there, but keeping in mind, even in the year 2000, which isn't that long ago when you think about it, it's only 15 years ago, it wasn't even available to all of Winnipeg yet.
And it's crazy.
It was still just coming to areas. Not everybody had it.
It's crazy how far things have come.
Yeah, I used to work for Bell Simpatico, their internet. I worked in their billing department. This is probably 2006, and this is when high-speed internet was 1 megabit per second. On the $60 a month, you get your high-speed 1 megabit per second.
It sucks how kids are these days, and I know I'm going to sound like an old fart.
We already talked about how they're fucking spoiled.
Don't know what you're missing. Back in my day, we only had Game Boy Color, and we had to go out and buy all of our games at a store, you ungrateful shit.
I love how we can say in the old days, we only had Game Boy Color.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a Game Gear.
Yeah,
when
I had Nintendo.
I actually had Super Nintendo, so I was a little bit. I had a little more.
So there's the door, Charles.
My first console was an N64, but when I was a kid, I had a Game Gear. Thing was this big, screen was this big.
N64.
Then it ran batteries like 3 days.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
6 batteries every 3 days. It was just ridiculous.
I remember when N64 came out, I wanted it so bad, and then my parents were like, "Well, we can't really afford it because I have autism. There's a lot of special classes that they had to pay for because of that, and because the government back then, as a lot of it is now was fucking useless.
Yeah.
And, they were like, oh, you're not drooling on yourself, fuck you. And, yeah, that was the essential response that I got. So instead what I got was a Super Nintendo, and it was still awesome. Because, like, me and my friends would come over, and my friends loved playing that with me, because it was like, dude, you have, like, Super Mario World. That is freaking awesome. And I recently got a Retro Duo.
Oh, yes. I want to get my hands on one of those so bad.
Oh, they are so much fun.
What it is, because the patents have run out on,
Okay.
on the NES and the Super NES, people can build their own. So what they're building now is called a Retro Duo. So it has the cartridge slots for both the original Nintendo and the Super Nintendo built in.
I see on YouTube there was a guy who stacked like 5 consoles with the same thing.
Yeah, PNP Gaming sells them here in Winnipeg. So.
The only downfall to that
actually, I have one. I totally forgot.
Yeah,
I son of a bitch.
I own one. It was like $60 or $70.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're cheap.
Yeah, and
I forgot I had one.
One of the downfalls with that though, or at least with mine, is you can't play Duck Hunt.
Because it wouldn't be compatible with the gun.
So, because I have Duck Hunt.
Some of them are.
And it's like, aww.
My friend has one that actually takes, you can plug in NES controllers. So having said that, you can plug in the gun.
Actually, interesting fact for anyone who wants to get into retro gaming, flat screens, you cannot play Duck Hunt on.
Really?
Yep. And the reason why that is because with the old tube sets, like the kind of TV sets that we grew up with, there's a curve to the screen, so there's something for the light to bounce off of. But with flat screens, there's no curve.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a
it's like a matte finish,
it goes through, but it doesn't come back. So you could hit that duck right on, but it's not going to register.
The dog's always laughing at you.
Yep.
Yep, always. That fucking dog.
Yep, fucking dog.
And now he's in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, fuck that dog.
Yeah.
He's in Smash Brothers.
He's one of the
Smash Brothers.
I think he's either... I haven't played it yet. I have a Wii U, but shame on me, I haven't bought Mario Kart 8 or the new Smash Brothers. I don't know if he's like an item in the game or if he's an actual playable character. If
I've heard that apparently he's a character. I don't own a Wii, so I would love to get my hands on a Nintendo Wii, but I don't own one.
I just sold mine to
And I purposely threw Nintendo in the front of that just so that no one could make a penis joke.
Yes. Well, that's what the Wii is. It's just
a giant penis joke.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even cross. I'm losing my wit today. I'm still so tired from that.
You're still looking at your eyes. I'm still here, guys.
Yeah, I know. I was playing games for like 5 minutes. I forgot where I was.
That's fine. We were talking about comics. You can play games.
This
is a nerdy podcast. Welcome to the show.
As I'm playing 2048.
Yes.
The math logic combo.
Not bad.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
But it was really crazy to get stuff like that. And
hey, can I borrow that $2 again? I need a Coke.
Need another pound of Coke.
Well, if I give you another pound of Coke, it's going to cost you more than $2.
$2 in a hand job.
Thank you. I will,
just not a hand job from you.
Handy's on the corner. Well, I think we're probably going to call it pretty soon here. We're going about an hour, so.
Oh, really? It's been that long?
Yeah, just about. Well, 47, 48.
I'm going to steal your chair then.
That's fine. I'll stick around for the closer, and then I'll go buy my Coke.
All right.
So
drink.
I've got a question for you. You read DC Comics, right?
I have. I've dabbled.
Nice.
Shit.
So Convergence. Are you excited for it?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So
it's been so long since I've been into comics that I'm so out of the loop. I know what's going on with Marvel because everybody talks about Marvel.
Yeah.
But DC isn't really a huge topic.
And that's what I hate the most about it, because DC stuff, like there's a few titles that have gone downhill, but the vast majority of it is still good. Whereas you look at Marvel, and the vast majority of it is like, what the fuck are you smoking?
Yeah.
Like
DC, they're consistent. They are consistently through all their titles. They're all on the same page. Everything ties in together because they're doing this whole new 52.
They have made some poor decisions. I feel what they did with Earth 2.
Yeah.
And it's not that the stories are bad. The stories were good up until most recently, and they could have done those stories on any other alternate Earth, but they decided to do it on Earth 2, and that pissed me off because I grew up with a lot of the back issues for the 1970s, 1980s, Infinity Justice Society,
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes, that was quite the event there, and it sucks that this is happening. But now Convergence is happening. All these old characters are coming back. And then after May, it's going back to business as usual. I'm like, what? What are you guys doing?
So is it like Convergence is going to have like no impact on the ongoing universe?
No, it is, because we are going to have the new 52 characters interacting with the older characters. But outside of that, there's... I'm not even really sure what to say. Nice. I'm just going to open my Pepsi.
Audio hiss.
Right to the mic.
Like,
That is my contribution to the DC talk.
Yeah, just like, this is how much I know about it.
Every time you talk.
But,
Right.
but yeah, and it's dumb that they're doing this, because it's like, if you're going to do something which essentially looks like a reboot, why not just do a reboot? And
Well, that's what the new 52 thing was. It wasn't basically like
it was a hardline reboot.
Yeah.
But at least with Flashpoint, they were like, oh, and then after this, we're going back to business as usual.
Oh yes.
They actually did a reboot.
Flashpoint. I don't know if you're a fan of CW. If you're watching Arrow or Flash.
I am watching both of them. I'm more of a
Flashpoint
fan
is
of
coming.
Flash.
Yeah.
Well, first we'll get Crisis on Infinite Earths.
You think they'll do that?
They've already hinted at it, because if you watch some of the scenes from the earlier episodes, it shows Dr. What's-His-Face.
Dr. Fate?
No,
Who?
no. The fucking scientist guy. I'm forgetting his damn name. The
Dr.
reverse
Wells?
Flash. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Dr.
him.
Wells. Harrison
And
Wells,
he's in his like little secret room, and he brings up that news article, and it says, Flash disappears after crisis event. And it's like, oh shit.
But the date is like 2028 or something, isn't it? Like, we're still like 13 years away, so... Well, in the timeline on the show.
And the timeline, they could always fast forward.
But as they go back, they go in that little room and he brings it up. It keeps changing. So, like, he's changing the past. So Flashpoint is coming.
Yeah.
Flashpoint is coming. I'm kind of disappointed,
I think Crisis will happen first.
I'm sure it will,
what DC needs to do? They need to start marketing their Justice Society characters better, because Marvel has Captain America, which gives them that tie to World War II. And I do think, even though it has been, 70 years since World War II?
80? No, wait.
Got to be close to something like that.
Mathematics.
Yeah, it's been 70 years since the end of World War II.
Yeah. So, and even though it's been 70 years, that is still a very defining moment in our culture and in our history. Marvel has that tie into that. Where's DC's? Like, even if they did the whole, post-crisis DC universe and was like, these were the characters that came along before Superman and Batman and all of them, I'd be fine with that, because that's what they did in Smallville, and for the most part, it was still very good. I was disappointed that I didn't get to see Alan Scott or Jay Garrick.
Yeah, I would love to see Alan Scott's Green Lantern on screen.
Or the only thing that we got of Wesley Dodds was, he dies. But, still, it was something. And I think DC needs to stop ignoring that part of their legacy and start embracing it a bit more.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were to do something like that. There's talk already, like, with Adam now on the show. Or
what are you passing me this for?
You owe me $3.
Okay.
With the Atom now, with Superman playing the Atom.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh, of course. There's already talks of like another spin-off. So I think I heard there might be like a couple Justice Society characters' names might be
better
tied to
because
that.
when they had an era when they had Ted Grant, I was like, go fuck yourself in the ass, you bastards.
Yeah, they made him.
That was my response.
Why did they make him young? Wildcat is supposed to be this old,
sex appeal.
grizzled.
Because sex appeal.
Yes, yeah, it is still the CW. So
fuck you, CW. Fuck you.
So far, I am a huge fan of Arrow.
In the ass.
Huge fan of Arrow. The thing
with
that has
rusted sledgehammer. Head first.
The thing that has how you really feel, CJ.
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel.
Fuck, like they ruined a perfectly good character. Like you said, he was this old grizzly man.
This old grizzled.
And he's like he beat the shit
shit
out of 20-year-old super criminals or super villains, I should say, and just beat the fuck out of them. And he was like, yeah, bitch, I may be in my fucking 60s, but I still kicked your ass.
Badass, yeah.
And it was just like, oh shit, Ted Grant's a badass.
Like,
I would love to see you when you're drunk. I would really. This is you.
Actually, when I'm drunk, I just shut the fuck up the vast majority of the time.
Really?
Yeah. I just shut the fuck up and listen to music, or I'll read a book. That is me drunk.
Like, what are you like when you're high?
Don't know.
Let's find out. This is the High Jinks podcast. But yeah, I don't know if you ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold, the cartoon.
Yeah, certain episodes. I saw the Justice Society one.
Yeah, but they had Wildcat on a few episodes, and he was done properly.
Oh yeah,
it was done very well.
He was done properly in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah,
I was surprised that it was him who got an episode to himself and not any of the other JSA characters. I was very surprised by that. I was happily surprised by that, but still very surprised because I thought if anything they would have given Alan Scott or Jay Garrick a episode to their own.
Well,
first.
Alan Scott probably not, because there's already so many Green Lanterns on the animated show. Like, they've got John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner. I'm pretty sure Guy Gardner was on Justice League Unlimited. I think he made an appearance. I know I remember seeing Kilowog, so I'm pretty sure they did something with the Green
I know
Lantern
Kyle made one on Justice League.
Yeah.
I don't think he made one on Justice League Unlimited, though.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah. I watched it a while back when I still had Netflix. And
you canceled Netflix.
School.
$8 a month,
bro. With the amount of comic books that I buy.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't. That's one of the reasons why I don't buy comics anymore, because it was like $600 a month.
Well, okay, actually,
and I'm not sure if I should mention this because I don't want my viewers to be like, "Oh no, his shows are going to be ending." But I am looking at the possibility of doing my internship out of province. And that doesn't necessarily mean the show's going to end. Chances are I just may not be there for a while. So, or all of my stuff may be pre-recorded.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, you get a backlog of recording so that you can still have a regular
voice tracking.
Yeah, still have a regular release schedule, which is kind of what we're doing right now. Like, we're recording every couple days, but we're only uploading like once a week.
Yeah.
But if our viewers would like us to upload more than once a week, let us know, and we will work our asses off to get you the content that you want.
Yeah. Sponsorships,
such
as Pepsi.
I'm actually in talks with a couple people right now for sponsorships.
And Batman.
I can't say anything yet because they're not giving me money, so I'm not going to say their names. But
I can't and I won't.
I can't and I won't. Give me money, damn it, and we'll talk about you on the show. But so
I love how people are like, I want you to do this project with me. I'm not going to pay you, but I can get you tons of exposure. And there's this one comic from Cyanide and Happiness that describes my feelings that perfectly. Where it's just like, speaking of exposure, and just
never go wrong with Cyanide.
This is very, very, very out of left field, but since you guys are talking about comic books and I know very little about them, do you guys remember Homestar Runner?
Yes.
The online?
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome.
That's like one of the only things I really, really, really...
No, Strong Bad was one of my go-tos. Like,
totally, right?
Or Homestar.
Homestar, yeah.
And the cheat.
Let me go check on Homestar. It was all because someone misspelled the name. That was just fantastic.
I wish I could do a Strong Bad voice.
And the emails that they had every week.
Yeah, the Strong Bad emails.
That was the best. Trogdor!
What happened to that?
They're still around.
The website did shut down, but I'd heard a few months ago, maybe longer, that there is rumors that they're going to come back. If they haven't,
they had
already,
such a client base, game face that I've even seen pictures. Jesus Christ, of people with like tattoos, tattoos,
Homestar Runner
everything.
Tattoos,
like it was a massive.
Yeah, thing. One of my buddies has like all the figures, like all of them.
Really?
Even all the figures.
And I was just like, holy crap, you are dedicated.
No kidding.
Like it's scary. But yeah, like it's almost like my room with comic books and other collectibles like that. Like I have a lot of the old DC Direct stuff, like back when they were first starting to release stuff. I got the Alan Scott Green Lantern Power Battery. Has the original packaging, the instructions, everything.
Unopened?
Paint is it was opened, it was used. The paint is cracking, but it's still all there, and it is just. Oh, it is fantastic. Considering the fact that these were made incredibly cheap and that they only made 1,000 of them, this thing is in fantastic shape.
Never should have opened it.
No, it was already opened when I bought it.
You would have killed us. My brother and I, we didn't have any appreciation for that kind of stuff when we were kids.
I didn't when I was a kid.
We had a Batmobile and a Ghostbuster car. And our favorite game was to sit on the opposite ends of the basement and just race them into each other and see how high they fly in the air when they smashed into each other. It was the Batmobile and the Ghostbuster car.
Way to
Relics!
God, if you had them now, I had Johnny Quest. Do you remember Johnny Quest?
No, I remember Flash Gordon.
Okay.
Now that theme song is.
But
I remember certain episodes of Johnny Quest.
Like when I was a kid growing up, this was back when we had the big
was he in
satellite
space
dishes.
or was he underwater? He was.
No, Johnny Quest was like an adventure type show. Like
Yeah,
his
it was
dad-
pretty much like making fun of everything.
like his dad was a scientist. His best friend was an Indian named Haji.
Oh yeah, I
And
totally
then-
remember that. That was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, was it not?
But they did a reboot in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, because I had one of the big I lived in the country, had one of those big satellite dishes, so
Yeah.
I had Cartoon Network growing up, which as a Canadian was great. Watched Smurfs and Wacky Races every morning before school.
Yeah.
But watched Johnny Quest. There was a reboot, and I had the Johnny Quest toys and everything, and I just beat the shit out of those things. Like I never had the Batmobile. I had the Jurassic Park stuff, like the real battle damage, like the robot dinosaurs you could pick off little things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right. That's from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. But back to Hanna-Barbera, Johnny Quest. Wait, you just said that.
Yeah, we were talking about
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. Oh yes, Johnny Bravo.
That was the best.
That
I
was
love
a
that
good
show.
show.
That was
That was
oh my
that
god,
show.
that was the heyday of Cartoon Network. You got Johnny Quest or Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Lab. Like that was just
Cow and Chicken I could never throw.
What-
Dexter's
what-
Lab
Cow-
was phenomenal.
No,
Cow and
Dexter's
What
Chicken.
Lab was good.
happened?
I Am Weasel.
When did we become old and depressed?
When cartoons stopped playing. When kids stopped going outside and watching cartoons is when society went downhill. Now everybody
And now
sleeps
there's
on the eve.
and now
I mean, I'm no different. I do it all the
yeah,
time.
and now Saturday morning cartoons are dead.
They are.
Yeah.
Try to wake up at any
now
point in
with
time.
networks like Disney XD.
Yeah, that's the only place you're going to get Saturday morning cartoons. You
Oh,
don't have
there's
ABC.
no
or
originality. Have you watched them?
They are riding Marvel's coattails.
Oh yeah,
They're riding them straight to the bank. Like all their
because
shows,
Disney owns Marvel
all
now,
except for like I think 2 or 3 of their shows
I'm a
are
paradox.
superhero based, and I'm like,
well, yeah, because they have
and
Johnny.
it's
Well, they
not
have
it's not
Johnny
even
Test.
original.
There's too many
It's
Johnny
not
shows.
even original.
Yeah.
Because there's like this one thing called Lab Rats or something.
Yeah.
Test
Stupid
Rats,
show.
something like that.
Is that
And,
a
like,
play
my-
on
my
on,
younger-
Pinky and the Brain? That
No.
was the shit. That show was
No.
the best.
Yeah, that's
Every
Warner,
show
Warner
I'd say,
Brothers.
by the way,
That's
is
Warner
good.
Brothers heyday. That's Steven Spielberg's doing right there. Was Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain like that?
Ah,
Yeah.
so good.
Batman
So
the
good.
animated series,
Tiny Toons.
Superman
Oh,
the animated
yes,
series,
yes.
which I've still not been able to find in stores.
Superman?
Yeah,
I think HMV has them on DVD.
I've tried going to HMV. I found Batman, and I found like some of the Superman, animated movies, like the Batman Superman animated thing, and
I've got all
that
Batman. Year
like
One.
that kind of stuff. But yeah, like as for the '90s cartoon, like the season sets, I have not found any of them.
Amazon.
And,
Try
they're
Amazon.
like, well, we
Find
can order
them on
them in.
Amazon.
I'm like, well, that's great. Doesn't help me right now.
But you can always get them on Amazon. I think
Like,
the
I want my
HMV up by my
Superman, and I
place-
want it now. God damn it!
Yeah, it was really. I loved how the Batman animated series kind of set the tone for
You're talking about the
DC
one
animated
in the 90s.
in the
right?
90s.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Kevin
that was
Conroy
awesome.
as Batman.
That
Kevin
was so
Conroy is Batman. Mark Hamill
Is the
the
Joker.
The Joker, yep.
Yes, or the Trickster,
Or
both.
there was one of my friends.
That's so
I'm
dark,
not
too.
going to
It's
mention
such a
his
dark
name
show.
because I don't want to embarrass him because I don't know if he'd be embarrassed by this.
Fuck him.
But he wrote a article on his blog talking about how Superman is apparently a symbol for white power.
Wait, who? What?
Yeah, I know.
You
That
say
was
Superman?
yes. I had that reaction too. I was kind of like, where are you going with this?
No, Superman's more of a symbol of America, or not
Yeah,
America. He's a
America.
symbol of America. Like,
Yeah.
we're the best. Superman he's an American hero. He's
Really?
he's our Boy Scout.
I never got that impression.
No,
I did not see him. Maybe I'm just really out
Well,
of date with comics. 'cause
No,
I
Superman was he's supposed
I don't
to.
even
like,
remember seeing a flag of any sort. Where
Oh no, no, no,
there are
no,
tons of
but
images
he's,
of him standing behind or in front
there's
of the
a
American
famous
flag.
poster with him with a bald
Eagle.
eagle on his arm.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
like Superman is
They
supposed
actually
to
made
rise and
they've made several statues out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen that same image with Chad Kruger.
Yeah.
But not with
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
No, there's
no,
and
no,
Yet
Superman
another
goes
Canadian
on.
potential icon.
I'm just gonna leave
who
that there.
failed and went to
It
America.
goes on in the article. It goes on, talking about how how he's always only seen saving, like how he's white, which gives him, which gave him like certain privileges back in the day.
Or he was
how like his
Superman?
biggest problem is, he can't get a date with Lois, and he's all upset about it and wah. But he can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes. I'm like, dude, his entire race died.
Yeah.
Except for his cousin.
There you go.
Right there, insult to injury. The only other surviving member of his race is his cousin.
But there, you said it right there. His race. He's not white. He's Kryptonian.
Exactly.
He's not white.
I said to him,
he's an alien.
And I didn't say that to him on Facebook because I didn't want to. I didn't want to embarrass him. He is one of my friends, even though I disagree with him. And I said to him, I respect your opinion, but I highly disagree with it. Also, maybe you should check out some of these because these seem more like what you're looking for from Superman.
You talk to your friends a lot more kind than I would.
Yeah.
Our response would have been like, fuck you.
Well, I do want to be in the public eye. My show does put me, to a certain extent, in the public eye as well.
Really? Because
like
how
15
this show minutes ago you were saying fuck him in the ass.
Hey, you know what? Fuck CW. Fuck them. They better not screw up Supergirl. That's all I have to say.
I don't think they will.
They better not.
They've got a pretty good track record going right now with Flash and Arrow.
A
couple things here and there,
they
but
better not screw up Supergirl. So help me God. But anyways, and I understand where he's coming from because I do know that the vast majority of his exposure to the character is from movies and TV shows. And to people who aren't familiar with the comics like you and I, it could be made to look like Superman might be a little bit racist. But there's also the comic books where, I think this was the 70s, Lois Lane becomes black for a day.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And she looks at Superman and says, could you still love me even though I'm black? And Superman says, well, why the hell should that matter? I'm from another planet.
Yeah.
And it
exactly,
was just
I was saying. He's not white, he's an alien.
Way to go, Superman. That's the kind of response we need to have to racism.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we are running a little
yes.
long. We did.
Sorry,
No, it's fine. We'll probably have you on again because we're going to keep the nerd content going. With our next episode, we have actually one of our instructors from our school here.
The Dean.
The Dean, Mr. Robin Day. We're going to bring him in next time, and we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. So Matt's going to be sitting in the corner just as lost as he was today.
Playing more phone games.
Yes. So, this has been, again, the Hijinks Podcast. Special guest, Charles Sazetsky.
Otherwise known as the comic book guy.
Comic book guy.
Yes. Should I tell them where they
can find me? Plug your stuff again really quick.
So you can find me on Facebook, which is www.facebook.com/ Nerd Culture Radio. There's also facebook.com/ Guardians of the Fandom. Twitter is at Comic Book Guy CJ. And I also have a Facebook page for myself, for the Comic Book Guy. All you need to do is type it into the search bar. You should be able to find it. It's just a photo of me with the whole, when they were doing the X-Men Last Stand photo thing. Yeah. Doing that, so.
Oh, there you go. So that's Charles, and for Matt, you can find him on Twitter at Matt Hazard 204. Matt Hazard 204. I am Jared Marshall. You can find me at tall_Yoda on Twitter. So thanks for listening or watching the Hijinks Podcast, and take care, everybody.
And thank you.
Thanks, Charles.